Good afternoon, evening, morning, whatever time it is. Thank you very much for joining the stream today. It is your host, Ace. Gonna give it a few moments for everybody to hop on before we do begin. If you guys can go ahead and hit the sub button, like the stream. Doing a little more things on YouTube. Gonna keep my Twitch streams for more so live trading and something a little more interactive. But we'll keep the more informative stuff and the chart reviews and everything over here on YouTube so we can get a little bit more of an audience here. Can't let everybody else in CT get ahead of this. But yeah, if you guys can like, and let me see if this tweeted out. That's the real question. See if this actually came out here properly. It did not tweet it. Mother sucker. Bitcoin AGU, yo man. What's this sign into chat? I can't chat with you guys. All right, let me get this out there. That's a good question on how I do this though. Let me go to YouTube. YouTube.com. I'm live here. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Sign into chat. I can't. All right, don't want to hear myself. What are all these bids coming through? Audio is okay. All right. Thank you for letting me know. When you say okay, as in like there's some issues with it, could I be louder, or is it just sounds like shit? Matt P, what's up, man? Hey, if anybody can let me know, make sure my audio is good and everything, and there's no like issues. If there is, let me know what they might be. Okay, good. Sweet. Dude, sir, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. I mean, I could turn it up a little bit more. Ooh, probably should turn that down. I feel like it could be yours, but I'll turn it up just a little bit more. I also gotta remember to keep my mouth near the mic. I have the Blue Yeti. I kind of want to get a different one. But yeah, tonight's stream, we're just gonna go over some things over here as far as like what's going on in the stock market, as what's going on in crypto. Discuss some levels here. Discuss some plays. If you guys have any questions at all, we can discuss questions. Let me turn this down. Yo, is that the sub noise? Yo, thank you for subbing to the YouTube. We got to get everybody back here on the subs. I don't even know how it works with the subs over here on YouTube. I'm pretty sure it's free versus Twitch. Yeah, and we'll go over a little bit of just Ichimoku stuff and whatever anybody else has. So if you guys have any questions, any ticker request, yeah, got a little annoyed over here. We ended up dumping out on SPY. So I remember yesterday I had like a 3-2 ratio of calls to puts. So my calls got completely wrecked. So really annoyed about that one. My puts did fine. So puts did really good over there. I had 395 puts on there, so they went in the money, and that made most of my losses back for that. What is Bitcoin doing? Yeah, I was kind of debating if we want to go ahead and do some kind of plays on Bitcoin tonight. the main thing with Bitcoin was, I mean, it's been super easy. I've been trying to get people to just set their bids and walk away. And that's pretty much all we've had to do all week long is just set our bids and walk away. So there's two different points that these things filled at. A while back, they filled back over here, filled over here, and then these two spots up over here. So we'll get some more levels out, see how things are looking over there. Let's get Ichi out over here. This is kind of the big thing right now is the cloud structure over here with Bitcoin. I mean, this isn't looking hot at all. I mean, it looks like we're more so going to ride into the clouds. So we do need to get back into the clouds over here. Pretty ugly that we did something like this over here. So not really a good sign. Don G, what's up? It's, it might be doxing some people's names on YouTube. So if that happens, I'm sorry. Eduardo. Now I know. Oh, you already got the setups. That's awesome. Yeah, while we wait for everybody to come in, might as well go ahead and check them out. Oh, you're looking for puts? Very smart, man. Yeah, not looking hot at all. So these things definitely do need to go ahead and recover. Dude, that's awesome that you're saying on the downside. Most people that normally mention things to me about this stuff, they don't mention the FTA. They just mention cloud entries. So the FTA stuff is very important as well. So yeah, if we start breaking down over here, it's not good. Let me look at the weekly. Oops, not fibs. Not a fib man. Yeah, I would say, so like on the weekly right now, that's kind of like just the general price action invalidation would be something like this. If we don't absolutely bounce over here at 40.76, this should just keep making more new lows. On the weekly, it looks like it is trying to hold up. So what it leads me to believe is that there's a possibility that we could go ahead and bounce off over here and continue riding up over here. So yeah, I mean, I do see what you're looking at. So we'll check into the order flow and everything and see where things are lying over there. Dixie. With the timing of everything, with us still having about 2 weeks left in December, a lot of people have DM'd me about whether they should try to buy something. Obviously, with recent events, nothing is financial advice. I know that doesn't really protect me, but yeah, I just review and analyze stuff. I don't really care what you guys buy. I trade on demo accounts, so yeah, there's no pump and dumping on my end. For the Fed that's listening, at least. Yeah, Dixie's kind of a big thing right now as well. As we can see over here, like beautiful little bounces on this end of things, so we are seeing a little bit of relief. We're definitely going to go over a lot of these gold tickers. I mean, the big thing about the gold tickers is I've been trying to get across to a lot of people to take profits, so this stuff pulling back isn't unusual. It's just a matter of how we get this reaction over here, if we start dumping into the clouds or what happens over here. So that's why Dixie is super, super important to see if we start breaking back over this purple level or if we start continuing to grind down. Right now, the focus is the FTA over here. That would be circled right over here. So if we make it over here, we have a possibility to go up to about 106. But again, nothing is clear right now showing that, hey, we're going to go ahead and recover out. Let's go over here on the weekly. So the weekly is kind of the big thing over here. So we already know that the cloud structure is kind of what we want to focus on over here on the weekly. If this starts riding up, that's bad. We don't want it to ride up. It can go ahead and relief a little bit on the weekly, and that's why we have this zone drawn out over here. But what we ideally want to see right now is us to break down into the clouds and start heading down to about the 99 range. I haven't really looked at the markets much. I actually woke up super late today, and I did wake up for a moment in the morning. I was like, fuck, my shit's down at 6 cents now. Always wish your audio was louder. I mean, I can turn it louder. I just feel like it'll be louder for other people. Just let me know if you guys don't like this audio. I'm going to turn this up a little bit more. Now it is set to absolute max. Oh, SPY 4 hour already in the clouds. And you know what sucks about the YouTube thing is I'm gonna need to hang on, let me pull up YouTube real quick. Like this isn't gonna work. Like these little pictures over here. I'm gonna need to switch this around to like a face photo. So I think my version of doing that is probably gonna be my dog photos. So I'll just have like some kind of dog photo talking about that. Not that I'm against doxing or anything. I mean, I will if I need to, but I don't see a point to do it yet. Cool. Well, I turned it up anyway, just in case some people can't hear me. If not, I think some people just have to turn it up. All right. I mean, we can begin. Doesn't look like there's that many people here right now. It's kind of expected with YouTube being. I'm just kicking it back up now. So, if you guys, what do you guys want me to go over? Crypto first, or stocks first, or NFTs first, or something completely different? And let me answer this. Hang on. All right. We can do crypto real quick. Actually, I'll just start off with crypto, and then we can go into stocks. Stocks have a little bit more to cover. I mean, crypto, there's really not shit going on there. So, yeah, let's do crypto real quick, and then I'll flip over to stocks. So let's just get to Bitcoin right off the bat. Um, See, the issue with Bitcoin right now is that just with everything going on in crypto, the cloud structures are just horrible. So there really isn't much of a cloud structure going on in crypto. So the big thing to focus on right now is the daily clouds. Right now, for me, I still think it's fade anything in crypto. I don't know why people are still giving out higher targets on Bitcoin, and they're giving out very, very high targets on Bitcoin, and I just don't see it right now. It's the most common sense thing to assume is if we have any kind of strength, that would mean we recover anything from this FTX's dump. So unless we can clear this FTX dump, there's really no hope for anything. And if it's not FTX's dump, it's previous highs. So there's multiple points yet we haven't even cleared, and I'll just go ahead and highlight them out real quick. Let me switch to a different exchange, though. Let me go to Bitstamp. I was already on Bitstamp. BTC USD. Let's go to Coinbase. So really the big thing to focus on right now is each of these high points. Haven't cleared that one. Haven't cleared that dump point. 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 And we can continue on higher if we want. Haven't cleared that one. Haven't cleared that one. So until any of these dump points start clearing, there's no strength. There's nothing going on. Dip buying, what are you going to dip buy for? For what reason? There's no aggressive dump that's happened. So until we get some sort of aggressive dump, and what I mean by that is wick over here. Like here, I'll just go ahead and point this out. Wick over here. I mean, this was an aggressive dump over here, but that kind of was a more so a fundamental related one. Like, we're looking for wicks like this. Like, I will go all in if we see wicks like this. But right now, we're not seeing any kind of wicks. So, I just don't get it why people are saying that shit. And anybody who tells you, hey, we're going to be going to 100K or whatever it is, they're just smoking crack. I just don't understand why people are saying 100K Bitcoin target when nothing like that is even feasible right now. Even if you wanted to give out Hopium, like, here's something with the Hopium. Like, this would be the max target right now for anything happening in Bitcoin would be about 56K. And that's me smoking a lot of crack and saying that. So I really just don't think that's going to happen right now until we get some better reactions on lower price actions. Just the high levels are just completely not even possible. If we want to draw another level, it could be around 35K. But at the very minimum, we need 35 to clear before we can even think about 56K, 60K. So, and just right now with everything going on in the environment, it's pretty much a CZ holding us up. Oh, yes. Yeah, I think I'll probably do that. I think I'll definitely stick to the YouTube one more than the Twitch one, just because I feel like everybody on Twitter is kind of switching over to that, and their audience has grown fairly quickly. I've seen people just start like a couple months ago, and they're already up to like 4 or 5K subs, and it's like, wow, it took me like 2 years to get the 4 or 5K subs on Twitch. So yeah, but that's kind of where my sense is right now with crypto. Nothing is bullish right now until we can start clearing this point. As far as like structures go right now with Ichi, unless we can clear back over the Tenkin over here, this seems like it's going to be coming down. And where is it going to be coming down to? I would say this would be a fair point right now. I would say 16,684. So if we can wick down over here, I'd love to go ahead and long. But right now, it seems more like we're going to do something like this. Is more so figure out what kind of chop we're going to do over here. And ideally, like, it's just funny, like, these things work out with the way Ichimoku works. So notice how we have a little gap over here. Where does this wall start with the clouds? So this wall with the clouds starts at 1228, which is at the end of the month. And that's the one big thing that I keep stressing out to people is if you're going to do any kind of buying investments or anything like that, you got to keep in mind, most people are probably going to be selling out for taxes, or if they are, they're probably waiting to deploy capital for the new year. Because if you buy now, it just messes things up for people depending on how you're looking at things. So for me, I'd rather just wait until the end of the month before I start buying. And that includes GBTC. I don't care how much of a discount this is at. This will be going lower. Cloud structure is not opening properly. Everything is looking poorly. If we do get any sort of pump on GBTC, it'll be at 945. So until we get some kind of cloud structure change over here, there's absolutely no reason to be bidding or buying the dip. Anybody telling you to DCA or anything like that, they have no idea what they're talking about. Why would you DCA at these levels is beyond me. So, yeah, I mean, maybe I'm being a little too bearish over here, but this just doesn't seem like right now is a good time to buy. As far as, like, these things go with Ethereum, I tried to get you guys across on these short levels on Ethereum as well. Like, we got filled on our shorts. We're back down, profited on this one. Price had compressed for a little bit, popped out, and yeah, back here again. So exactly the same thing as Bitcoin over here. We need to get into the clouds over here, or we wait until 1228 and see what happens over there. Technically, everything is still within range. So even if we're not looking at this in Ichi-wise, I'll go ahead and just do price action for my price action folks. Because I know some people are like, ew, he's doing clouds things. Let me do this for you guys. Remove everything. Okay. Let's just do pure price action. All right, pure price action wise, what was I going to do? Hang on. Upper range, middle range, lower range. So in my eyes, we are still stuck in a range. So until we can start expanding out one way or the other on this range, it just seems like, hey, short any kind of hit that hits on 19. If we flip 19, yeah, I could play to 23. But right now, range-wise, price action-wise, 19 would be the major level to go ahead and clear over. But again, that still ends up giving us issues over here with this pre-dump. We don't have good luck with the pre-dump. And the whole thing that I just showed you guys on the pre-dump thing, that's kind of where the whole 1 minute time frame comes in on this one. You can play the 1 minute time frame the same exact way. If you start seeing dumps form out on certain ways, you can play. You just got to do it a lot faster. But we won't talk about the fast scalps right now. That's a little different. You just got to keep in mind, if you're using the strategies that you hear from me on the daily time frame, the 4 hour time frame, you got to be super fast with your dumps on the lower time frame scalps. So I do think it is beneficial for people to try to get some scalps in on Bitcoin on the lower time frame, just to get an understanding of price action and just to get your mind adjusted to taking profit at fast points. So whenever you see things go out, I know a lot of people love to kick up the leverage, and I think the lower time frames are the best thing to do it on, because that gets you adjusted on taking profit early. Because if you miss out on those things and you don't take profit, you end up getting fucked over right off the bat. So lower time frames is good for experience building, but most people should probably just stick to the higher time frames. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much Bitcoin over there. I'll just go ahead and check out Solana. Solana hasn't moved at all, so we're stuck at $14 over here. While there's still people building on over here, I think there's still a little bit of doubt as far as what's going to happen with Solana as a whole. But I mean, it is cool to see that people are still building on Solana. They're still, I mean, obviously the CEO of Solana, Talani or whatever his name is, he's still obviously bullish on it as well. So there is a little bit of hope over here with Solana, but again, it's going to take a little bit of time to play out. And again, if we're focusing on the wall structures over here, let's see where this line leads out to be. Oh man, look, the line leads out to be 1228. So the cloud structure lines and these points are very, very important. It's very unlikely that we start breaking out at this cloud point. If we do, that's beautiful. We have great strength over here. But right now, Solana's stuck in a range. There's nothing going on. So to trade Solana is not worth it on higher time frames. Dogecoin, the guy who has a lot of Dogecoin is still holding his Dogecoin, and I don't really get the idea over here, but there's a little bit of hopium for him. If we can get on the weekly, that's kind of the big thing across the board with crypto is focusing on the weekly structures. Draw your levels on the weekly and set your alerts on there. Once we can start clearing those weekly levels, it'll be really, really good. But this is the other thing that's a big concern right now is if you notice over here, we did a bullish TK on the weekly, and now we're going to do a bearish TK. That is not good at all because what it leads me to believe is that a lot of these tickers that are over the board are just going to end up coming down. So if you have more crypto tickers, put them in chat. We can check out the cloud structures over there. I didn't even realize I still have my thing on. Okay, let me take that off. All right. So yeah, I mean, there's really not much in crypto to discuss as far as price action goes, unless you really want me to. As far as like NFTs and the other things in crypto, we'll discuss that at the end. I don't want to get into that. Let's just go on to the stock market where things are actually moving and there's actually money to be made over here. So not a good reaction over here on the weekly with this one. Pretty bad on the weekly with SPY. So a little bit more chop over here. I'd say, again, more so into the end of the month, and then we'll start getting a little bit more clarity as far as where we're going to be going. Looking on the 4-hour, like you mentioned over here on the 4-hour, we did go ahead and get into the clouds over here this morning, so that's not a good sign whatsoever. If we don't bounce out over here at this 385 point, it's just going to end up lower. So not good at all as far as this dumping out today. No, yeah. SR levels work fine. I mean, the flags and stuff work fine. It just depends on how you're looking at them. Since you mentioned that, I might as well show you what I mean by that. And what I mean by looking at flag pennants and things like that, you can definitely do them, but it's more so based off like this. So if you notice over here on Ford, so we had a flag form out, and typically this is how you're gonna have. This is how it works. So I use B bands and Ichi. So you'll use your B bands to find that extension, and then you'll try to find out that compression. So over here you have this little triangle pattern, and you ideally want to play it like this, to where we're at the end of compression and we're into the clouds on the end of compression. Then you know it's going to be popping off, and it also gives you a nice tight invalidation as well. So yeah, I do definitely look for those things. It's just I don't end up drawing them out because my brain's just hardwired at this point. I can just identify them by looking at them. But yeah, those things are super, super helpful. I think people who are new to things, just looking up charting patterns is super important. Let me pull that up. Yeah, like these things, yeah, they're super, super important. But I feel like you guys should be able to identify them without even looking at them. So yeah, that's pretty much that. These are very, very useful to find. It's just combining them with other things is even more helpful. What are we seeing in chat? Yeah, see, YouTube makes it a lot easier for people to chat. Have you seen the Lex Friedman podcast with CoffeeZilla? Not the biggest fan of CoffeeZilla, so no, I haven't. And I honestly rarely ever listen to podcasts just because, I don't know, I just really never got into them. So no, but if you think it's a juicy podcast that I should listen to, DM me and I'll check it out. All right, let's go through. We'll just start off the bat with my watch list and see what's going on here. So what was up today? We're seeing a little bit of the OG up today. VXX getting some push. Let me do your guys' chart request, actually. You said EBA, CRM, cost, CRM. Yeah, CRM's not looking too hot. Look like it's going down much further than this one. It's on weekly support over here, so it absolutely needs to hold up over here, or you're just going to see lower. And we'll pull up the order flow in just a moment to see where are we at with this. Yeah, 114 is kind of the next level point if we do start breaking down. If we don't start breaking down over there, that's when things are going to get really bad for CRM, because then we don't have another level down over here until 85. So let me actually go ahead and pull up Cheddar Flow and see if there's any kind of interest right now. The big thing about CRM is I wouldn't want to grab too many puts for too long. It would just be more so monthly or bi-monthly puts at the max. Buying any kind of leap puts is probably going to be a little more difficult and more expensive to do just because we have been going down for quite some time. But I am curious to see what order flow is coming in for CRM. We'll see if we have any dated players coming in for CRM. Ideally, I mean, if what I'm looking for right now with order flow would be is, are there any kind of bigger buyers buying any kind of leaps out on CRM right now? Visually on price action, I probably wouldn't want to buy it because I'm not seeing any kind of setup over here at all whatsoever. But this is probably the time that I want to look to see if there's anybody buying anything. Let's go a little lower to the 1 hour. Yeah, it looks like we tried to get back through, so right now we need to clear back over 135 to get going again. Yeah, 135 leads us back over the Tenkin over here, so not the best. Like, I doubt you'll see anything dated out right now. This is the last 7 days, so the last 7 days has been 83% bearish, so really nothing coming on this one, and let's look for the dated strikes. Yeah, while there are still plays coming in for dated plays, it's still dated puts coming out, and they're a little bit different coming in as well. They're more expensive, and yeah, it's just I'm not seeing anything over here that indicates, hey, there's some kind of bounce coming up or anything happening at all. For the last 7 days, there's no real dated flow coming in. The only kind of dated flow we're getting is we're getting puts coming in for dated. There's some coming in for this one. So we're seeing 160 calls for June, but they're priced at 634. So still a little expensive right now to buy any kind of protection. So for this one with option wise, this would be a complete pass just because I feel like you'd get something better elsewhere. Going to cost. I mean, this one I've been bearish on for a little bit. It was going up like absolute crazy before. So, I mean, I still remain bearish on cost. I still think that Costco is going to be coming down to about 387. So, not necessarily bullish on this one at all whatsoever. If we're looking for another point right now, I would say another point would be right around over here. So, right now, looking at the 444 point for Costco. And we are just done with earnings. A lot of these plays are going to be plays that you're going to want to play more so at the end of the month rather than now. I just don't see people buying into things as heavily as they will come February. Come January. What else did you say on here? Okay, cool. Yeah, I try to avoid over very high premiums. So yeah, the premium makes a very, very big difference. I try my best to buy things that have cheaper premiums and dated out protection. So like over here on this one, CRM is 616. While typically this is good, let me go over here to this one, and I'll break it down as I'm going through it. So CRM, I kind of read my order flow from left to right. So I'm looking at this one. I'm seeing it's a call flow is probably what I want to buy. I'm seeing 616 so far, so good. It's at 160 strike. Let's see where 160 strike is. 160 strike is up over here, which makes sense. I mean, it's not an outrageous target over here, so it would make sense for me to go ahead and get it if everything else meets out. Right now, the size I'm seeing over here isn't gargantuan size, so they are building up on their play. But then what turns me off is that for a 616 protection, I'm paying 634 on a play that doesn't have much open interest on this right now, and it's only a 126K player. So I don't know if that's going to be the kind of protection that I want to go ahead and buy until we get some sort of confirmation, because I have no idea what these guys are probably planning or what they could be doing. But then when I see things like this, so while this is more so on the lotto end of things, this is kind of where I start things out to figure out where we're getting those dated plays. So if we're trying to be a little bit more serious, avoiding lottos, let's keep the contract price to about $1. And let's see what's coming in for the flow for $1. Hold on. No, not $1 and below. I guess I'll just have to scroll down. So I think about beyond 75 cents is probably a fair point. So just like going down over here. So you're seeing like right off the bat, I'm seeing this one is the one that catches my eye right off the bat. So I'm seeing 1216, 120, 23. So they're only about a month, maybe about 2 months out, even Apple. But then here, over here, this ticker is at, and this is without checking the chart. This is just purely checking order flow first. Here's a call ticker that I'm looking at. It says 421.23. So you got until April for these, and it's a $10 strike. Very, very nice. Doesn't look like it's a gargantuan size coming in over here. It's priced at 63 cents. And then this is where it gets a little bit more tricky because I'm seeing a split order coming over here. Split typically means it's a double-sided play, so there could be some people buying puts on that as well. But yeah, this one kind of more so meets the qualification because you get to buy yourself time, and it's also cheap to buy time. So let's check out here. Let's check where this chart is at. Turtle Beach, is this the Turtle Beach people? Like the headsets? What do you know? Yeah, add this to my list. Let me go to the monthly on this one. Yeah, we're at a monthly level right now, so if we're going to expect some sort of bounce, it would probably be at this point. We just don't have any kind of Ichi setup right now. Like, we're pretty much breaking through the FTA right now, so if this week we don't recover off this FTA and start climbing back over, I would say, about 840, 850, it's just going to end up coming down lower. So, not good at all in the daily time frame, but yeah, if we can get some confirmation, we can go ahead and buy. And that's another thing with this one. If I'm seeing order flow like this, these are the kind of things where if it's a block player, that's another thing that I like a lot more. I like block players because block players are people that are scaling into things in sections. So it's institutional players that are buying in into plays. So if a block player buys into something right now, that means I can give it a couple days and buy back in because those block players will definitely go ahead and add back into their play later on and fix their cost average. So we can actually switch this to all blocks as well. All right, just block order flow, and we're still priced out. Okay, so there's got to go a little lower now. So time is a big factor with options. I remember you told me decay is a big thing usually when the option is about to expire. Yeah, so that's something more as a whole. You can find data for that elsewhere. If you know there's going to be major options or expos going on, that's typically where I end up trying to place opposite side bids and figuring out where max pain is at. I don't remember which Twitter page I have that shows you where's the max pain is at. But yeah, that is essentially a thing. Looking for where the max pain is going to be and trying to play something like that. And yeah, time is also a big factor as well. I mean, to like give you like a shorter answer to that one, if you're doing shorter time expirations, you just got to be a little bit faster with your plays, and there's a certain time and place to do short-term expos and long-term expos. And the whole long-term expos is you'll see market interest in people buying leaps. Right now, I'll have to retweet the data, but it doesn't show on my end that there's a lot of players buying dated out leaps right now, and there's not much dated out option interest for me to see. So yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, buying lumps with block players. So that's the strategy that I used with SLV and things. So whenever I see block players coming in, so here's a beautiful example. Wow, that's so perfect. So this is something that I'd want to scale into and something that I know I can definitely make money off of. So this is a low premium over here, 25K, low open interest, low volume right now, 24 strike, 616 expiration. So with the whole sell in May and go away, technically, if the market goes down, metals are supposed to go up. So this kind of matches up with all of my previous experience. So let me go to SLV over here, see where this lies out. So 24 isn't exactly a crazy point. My target over here is at 23.72 right now for SLV. So that means that that's going to be expanding out and going in the money, and that's ideally what you want. And these are priced at $1.20. So with the way Dixie's looking at right now, if Dixie does start clearing over here, that means that these guys are going to be at a loss. And if they're going to be coming back in, they're going to be buying lower. So if you can get into their block play a little lower than what they paid, so ideally around like 85 cents, you'll most likely see more block players coming in afterwards and pumping your own plays out. And at that point, you can decide, hey, do I want to capture my 20% or keep letting them build that open interest up to about 60K, 40K? Because once we get around that 40K, 60K open interest, that's most likely is when you're going to see your options get to the point of like 100% or beyond 75%. So there's more factors in. If you ever have something interesting that you see, just let me know. It's just metals are a lot easier to do right now because it's just been a lot easier to do metals than anything else in the market for me. Yeah, $1.20 right now. It's only 25K. It's cheap protection for dated out plays for SLV. So, like I said, if we can get a little bit of a pullback, we can get a support test over here at 2060. I would love to go ahead and get into it. And also, you don't necessarily have to follow the same exact play. If you don't feel comfortable with the strike point of 24, you can typically adjust it a little bit. So sometimes when I see things like this and I don't feel like I'm going to get in the money with my 24 calls, I'll maybe adjust that a little bit to about 23. The issue with that ends up being is just making sure that there's actual liquidity inside the options if you're going to a different strike. So as long as there's liquidity, you can adjust your strike to be either a little bit more OTM or you can be a little bit more in the money. So that's why back in the day, let me get to metals real quick. Like that's why I haven't gone really hardcore on any of this stuff with metals as far as like options go. But once we can get something like this where we know the weekly trend is switched up and we're out of the clouds over here and we're heading to about 2000. I mean, our trigger is going to be 1918 K right around there, or 1900, 1800. Once we can get beyond those points, I'll feel a lot more comfortable buying OTM calls. But yeah, once you get into this trend and we're going up in a certain trend, that's where you can go a little bit more OTM. But right now, going a little too deep OTM, you really need price action movement. You need that volatility. And I just don't see that happening. While it is happening, I just don't see interest in the dated plays just yet to do something OTM. Like back in the day, it wasn't a problem for me to go ahead and do something like, I did it a lot with Kaleo. We would buy calls that were a little bit dated out on SLV, and it was all good because we can buy something dated out and we would just be able to sit in it and it would go in the money. So yeah, we need a little bit of confirmation on that to go a little OTM on things. But if you know the volatility is going to kick in and you know the price target is going to hit, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to buy OTM. So I think the main thing I'm really looking forward to on like SLV is, are there 30 strike OTM buyers coming in? Are there 34 strike OTM buyers? And we can take a look real quick and see if there is any kind of interest. But that's what you want to focus on come at the end of this month. Are there buyers for SLV coming in for those certain plays? So let me take this time back a little further back. And I'm kind of all over the place right now, but it's cool. Yeah, December is kind of my interest point. Let me go to SLV. So SLV started turning up around 11.7. So I can just go back to 11.7. All right, so this is 11.7 order flow. Let's adjust the expirations over here. So you're seeing 2024 plays right now. Let's adjust the strikes, actually. So there are actually some interest coming over here. So look at that. Would you look at that? This is actually really cool. I did not see these. So you're seeing 35 strikes, 37 strikes. But again, keep an eye out on this open interest. That open interest is still very low, so you still should have time to go ahead and get into things. So if you notice over here, it's a block sweep, sweep, sweep. So that's very good to see. Let me open up my phone and just check out what these are priced at right now. Did my thing just sell on eBay? Ah, damn it. I should have accepted that bid. Oh, well. Well, damn. Hang on. Let me open up my app. Why is Gemini sending me emails? They already got my KYC out to people. Hang on. Open up Robinhood real quick. And people ask me about brokers. I really can't technically tell you which brokers to use, but Robinhood's good if you're a beginner. Honestly, Robinhood's good anyway if you want to do mobile trading. If you're at the computer, TD Ameritrade works really good. I really like them. So for me, it's TD Ameritrade, and Robinhood is one of my two favorites, ideal ones. I mean, obviously there's Schwab and Fidelity you can do things on, but yeah, I really like those two. So let me go to SLV real quick and see what these are priced at. 2024, January. There's even 25 plays over here. So these guys are buying 35 strikes. So at 81 cents right now. And the thing is, when you buy things that are a little bit very, very deep OTM and you're buying dated protection, you're also not getting hit with the theta decay the same way you would buying something shorter. So let's just say the price does dump out, I don't know, 5-10%. You won't see the same kind of decay that you will on those lower time frame. Those lower expirations. So let's say you do have a 5% dump. The dated out plays could only dump about maybe 5-10%, while you'll see shorter expirations dumping about 20-40%. And that's the reason for buying dated out protection, because you can manage them a lot better than you can shorter expos. So right now, those dated out plays are priced at about 81 cents right now. So they were down about 15% for today. And open interest is sitting at about 7,100. So these 35 strike buyers are still or some of these are at a loss. This guy's not at a loss, and this guy's not at a loss because they're in at 62. So these guys are still up on these plays, but the players that bought in over here, those guys are at a loss right now. So sweeps are just people that are immediately buying into things. So while blocks are people that are sizing into plays and there's more of a chance that they're going to buy into it, sweeps are people that want those plays and they want them now. So it's more urgency on the sweep plays. And then the split plays basically means that they're doing two directional plays. There's more likely a put coming in somewhere on this one. So it's more so a hedge play. Read chart and try to front rock block players. Yeah, I mean, you can do it that way. I kind of do it a little bit more so on the opposite side of things. I try to look at the order flow and then I try to see the setup on the chart. So I kind of do it more so like that. But yeah, I mean, either way works. Just feel whatever you're more comfortable with. So you can either look at the order flow first or you can look at the chart first. What else do I have? Let me get this out on... Oops. Oh, I can't write in the chat. Yeah, likes and retweets appreciated. That way we can get everybody in here. But yeah, see, it's only the usual people in here, so I can drop whatever alpha you guys want and go into a little more detail over here. So it doesn't really matter that much. Yeah, so that's really interesting to see the SLV interest over here like this one. Again, you can adjust things a little lower as well. Why is this coming up? Okay. Dixie 1 week looks like it can bounce. Yeah, that makes the most sense. I mean, that is ideally the play with over here on Dixie right now. And the reason for that is because if you guys look at we'll just start off with price action and we'll break it down further. So if we're just doing price action, this is a Chavannes fork or C fork, however you want to call it. C forks typically end up, this is about the point where they end up running out of steam right over here. So the C fork is pretty much done. So in my eyes right now, what I'm seeing is that there's more of a possibility of something like this happening. And then us figuring out what's going to happen over here. I don't see us clearing back over and hitting that 119 point. We should pretty much be out of the clear right now for the 119 point. And then let's turn on Ichi over here. Yeah, it's a bearish cross right now. So what this means is that we need to absolutely recover over here for any kind of thing for this to change. So I don't think I've discussed it on stream. You'll see a lot of fake out TKs happening, and what you can do with that one is if you see something that's potentially going to fake out TK cross again. So this is a bearish TK. Sometimes what you'll see is you'll see this flip back over and it'll go back to bullish. You need the price action to follow through with that for that to ever happen. If not, you have a major cluster over here that's going to be a rejection point. So let's turn on my B bands over here. Notice how the B band's at that point. So you would just draw a little cluster right over here. So that's your major resistance point right now. So unless we can clear that point over here on the weekly, it should just go down. But again, if we start getting the proper kind of strength over here, there is a chance that we do ride back up and push through, but it really should not push through at this point. This bearish TK should play out with just a little bit of relief. So for me, where it might end up coming out into the clouds, it seems more so that it's going to be something either there or there. And as far as the dates go over here, this comes to the end of January, and this one is more so at the end of February. And this one looks like it's so in March. So with the whole sell in May and go away thing, I think it's more so going to be this point that we end up breaking down at. But if we break down sooner, that would be beautiful. If we can break down earlier before February, that's the best case scenario. Does SPY look like we can get a fake out on the Tenkin Kijun? On what time frame? So let me turn off my mumbo jumbo on the lines. Yeah, so this is more of a scenario that we might get a fake out over here. We haven't even confirmed anything right now. What we're doing right now is we're C-clamping. I haven't really discussed C-clamps yet, but that's when you start seeing the line go flat. I can't draw it right now, but you can see it kind of over here. I'll try to find a live example for a C-clamp. But that's essentially where you see these things go parallel, and then you see one cut up. Oh, you're good. No, I didn't. Let me mess with these guys. Let me actually just message Dime. Dime will probably be the one to message on this one. Dime gave me some alpha the other day. He gave me this one. He told me to read through this one. I can link this in chat if you guys are interested in reading into it. I think I'm allowed to share this. If not, well, oops. Yeah, so this is something I was reading the other day from people that are smarter than me. Tenkin is horizontal. Kijun is doing a U. Yeah, so this is C-clamping out right now. You really need the price action to confirm over here for this to cross through. So what I see over here with this is that by the time we get up to over here with the TK cross over here, we really need the price action to be back into the clouds for this to actually go ahead and confirm out. For us to go ahead and fake out, that would mean that we get into the clouds over here and fall right back out. And that's where the fake out would occur. Let me see if there's a previous example on this one. Like, this could have gone bad news bears over here. Like, we went out over here and dumped down, but everything ended up being fine. So there's situations that we end up seeing something like this. But on SPY and stuff, I mean, there's other factors you can focus on rather than that. The whole stuff like that, there's other things you can do rather than just focusing on something that's going to potentially fake out. You'll get plenty more signals other ways. It's just you're using that as another supportive signal to support your play. So I would say in the line of like checking things out, that'd be the last thing you want to focus on. If you're on a lower time frame, it's probably a little more important. But on like a more macro time frame, you don't necessarily have to be, that doesn't have to be your first thing you want to focus on. So on the daily over here on SPY, you can see that we're starting to come down over here with the TK or with the Tenkin and coming down to the Kijun. While these things can still recover because we haven't gone through, you'll get more clarity on different time frames. So a lot of fake TK crosses and stuff going on up and down over here. That's why price action ends up being a little more important sometimes. Over here again. All right, let me go through my list of tickers and see the state of the market now. I'm just going to click to things and say yes or no on some of these tickers. BTUs, this is a coal ticker. I'm seeing a lot of coal news on here, over here. So what I'm going to be looking for coal is, I already have my line drawn. as long as we can hold up over here at 27, we should be fine to go ahead and continue on upwards with coal. The weekly structure is still very, very good. We just need the B-band's midpoint to start climbing up to about that 27 point. But yeah, coal is not bad. I see a lot of people still pushing out the coal stuff. While I don't like coal, it still seems to be being used. AR, oil and gas production. Again, this is another set of setups that we're seeing across the board. Is these things have just been absolutely running up. Are we going to get a pullback? Because if we do, these don't have any kind of support once we lose the cloud structure. So whether you're looking at a price action, whether you're looking at it at clouds, there's really nothing much going on until we get to about this point. So 21. So this is going to be very, very interesting to focus on these. And that's the same thing with like XLM and stuff. A lot of these things have been running up for quite some time. And that's where I'm interested in seeing, are we going to actually get some kind of pullback? Or are we just going to keep running up? What's going to happen over here? So watching this stuff is super important for me. I mean, this is just absolutely vertical. So if there's going to be any kind of options pain, it's going to be coming soon for people who are buying these things very late. So any kind of pullback right now, I would say an ideal support test would be somewhere around this point, around the 95 point. And that is all dependent on crude and oil and all that stuff. So again, on the monthly over here, going to the daily. So we were still focusing on crude this entire time. Again, we're not clearing any kind of level. So unless we can clear over 88, 89, it's just going to be coming back down to that 72 point. If we're looking at U.S. oil, that pretty much hit our target over here. So that came down all the way down to this point. And nothing is clearing out yet, showing that we're going to be coming back down. Or I mean, coming back up. Weekly structure is getting a bearish test over here. So USO still seems like it's going to be coming down to 51. As far as fundamentals are concerned about this one, I think they do need to go ahead and refill the barrels and stuff and start doing buybacks. But I believe they said they're not going to do any of that stuff until about 50, 55. So it's still going to be a little bit before they start buying back these things. But once they do start buying back things, then we'll get a little bit more of a play for the upside. But these are pretty much all done for now. Most of you guys have a direct line to people too. You guys just gotta DM people. Most people answer. I haven't really seen too many people not answer and be rude about things. Most people I can reach out to and they'll answer and help me out if I have a question. Tesla over here, we've been discussing this one as well. Coming over here on support at 149. If we lose 149, that's not good at all because it'll just end up coming lower. Tesla's been having some just constant red over here, so it makes sense for a bounce to come up soon. So if we don't start bouncing at that 148 point, then that's what it's going to go lower. But I just wouldn't want to scale into puts right off the bat unless we can see some green over here. So if we can get some green over here to about 180, at that point I'll go ahead and grab into puts over here. But right now I just don't want to chase anything that's been going in a certain trend, just because premiums are going to be expensive. If you're doing bi-weeklies, that's okay, or if you're doing monthlies, it's okay. But if you're buying anything beyond a monthly contract, you're just putting more risk on yourself for things to go wrong. Kathy Wood is the worst person in the world for trading, in my opinion. Her ARK ticker is not doing good at all. Yeah, I wouldn't, I don't really like anything that Kathy does. Like, I get her stance on things. Like, I think that's, like, the biggest thing you could probably use is her research. But her expectancy for things is about 8 to 10 years. So that's a long time. Right now, with the state of the world, there's a lot that can happen in 8 to 10 years right now in the world, especially with all the unrest going on in the world, especially a lot going on with the economy and jobs and just people in the world. So yeah, that 8 to 10 year timeline is a little much for me. I don't want to think that far out. Like, the only things that I'm thinking far out is about 2025, and the only thing that I'm thinking over there is most of these companies like Ford, GE, anything that has any kind of vehicles, because eventually America is going to be switching out to where they're not going to want you to use gas-powered vehicles in some places, and that's going to be a catalyst for a lot of these tickers. Yeah, Kathy's crazy. Yeah, that's well put. So again, GE's another one. If we get into the cloud, just going to end up coming down to about 71. If we can get some green this week, that'll be good. Earnings are coming up on January, so if we're going to get some sort of pump, it'll be preemptively more so coming in the first week of January. Gevo is another one, alternative energy plays. So these are the things that are going to start running up. If you notice over here, this entire run up was because everybody was just hyping alternative energy, and just this was the beginning phase of where they were trying to push this off to retail. If you looked at the laws and the legislations, they're not pushing a lot of those things out until 2025 and 2030. So if you're basing things off when they're going to be pushing things out, I'd want to buy a year before anything actually starts getting pushed into place, not 3-4 years before time. If we're seeing a good trend, yeah, then that's fine. But as far as like investments go, I think you could probably wait a little bit more before you can actually start scaling into things like Gevo and Run, like a lot of these alternative power generation things. They could still take a little bit of time. Like Run is setting up probably the best out of everything because it is still managing to hold up versus everything. So a flip over here at 35, 36 will be very, very good for us. Let's go ahead and extend this out as well. So yeah, that's kind of my whole thing with energy. I think it will be a play, but it'll be more so a play come this next summer that's coming up. Yeah, and then we have all these gaps over here as well to focus on. So eventually those gaps will fill out. All right, let me keep going down this list. GLD over here. So GLD has major levels over here. This is the 2011 candle monthly body high. That's the wick high. So once we flip over here on 171, that's when things are going to get really, really interesting for GLD. Because at that point, I feel like we're just going to get directional volatility, and it'll look something like this. So if you notice over here, we flipped at this point, and we just ended up running over here. So that's what I'm looking for right now with a lot of these tickers. This consolidation is good, gives you time to go ahead and scoop in. If we can get a support test over here at 162, I wouldn't mind buying some calls. Like, I've avoided calls this entire time, but come the end of this month, I will definitely start scaling into a lot of these calls. And you have a gap fill over here at 179 as well. JJT, that's kind of more reliant on tin. So as long as tin keeps going up, it'll be fine. Right now, it's just kind of just chopping over here. Let's look at tin. What tin's priced at? Tinbot. So it's at 23K, still holding up very nicely. It looks like it cleared 24K last week. I've been saying for a little bit this is going to end up hitting about 30K. So I'm still looking for about 30K tin right now as a whole. So yeah, looking at 30K tin for the target. So it's at 23, 24K right now. And as we start clearing those levels, our upper target for JJT is around 92. I don't see tin breaking down anytime soon unless we get some kind of clear with Dixie. But JJT should be 100% fine to start pushing back out. Going over here on the weekly. Again, it's trying to set up for that weekly cloud entry over here. So it will eventually get into the clouds and it will start breaking out. And that's going to be a real big thing for us. Robinhood is getting interesting as well. So Robinhood is getting close to this cloud structure over here. Looks like it's more so aiming for a bearish TK over here. So right now with Hood, I mean, it just seems like doing shorts on Robinhood is probably the more ideal thing. I don't even know exactly why they launched their ticker in the first place. So unless we can get into the clouds over here, it just seems like it's going to be coming back down. I'm curious on order flow as well. This is actually back from November, so we can probably adjust this a little bit to about December. Yeah, not really any kind of dated interest right now. If there is any kind of dated interest, people are buying in the money puts right now, which actually I'm surprised these are this cheap. So this is actually a really, really nice play. So you're seeing 317 $9 puts, which is prices right now at 867. So that's not bad. I'm surprised these are priced at 182, 126 right now. So it's really interesting to see these priced out this way. I mean, the date, it might be a little different because I'm looking at the whole entire month. But that's really interesting to see. Something like this, the 119.24, that'll be the trigger play if we get the cloud entry over here, because those are $15 targets. And then if we extend this line out, that was our previous line, That's at 15.12 anyway. So if we can get that cloud entry over here, that's going to be above $11. $11 is going to be our trigger for a long. Let me keep going. H&R Block. I always forget to play this one. This is another good ticker. I mean, you guys should know what H&R Block is. Taxes aren't going to be going anywhere anytime soon, so. Hershey Company. This one is recession proof. This one is downside proof. Just straight up. And this is on the weekly. This doesn't go down. So there's just some tickers that simply don't go down. AZO, it doesn't go down. This is probably a good buying opportunity right now. So AZO is actually beautiful support test over here. AZO should end up hitting about $3,000. So AZO is not bad. There's some tickers if I was in like a investment firm or anything, this is probably more so what I'd be telling people to buy, something like AutoZone and just more so safe tickers that have been just going straight absolutely up. Twink looks like it's getting a little bit of a pullback. We'll see if this gets into the clouds, but again, Daily's broken, so Daily doesn't look too good. So Daily could have been a trigger over here breaking through the FTA, but right now I'm kind of more so focused on the weekly right now, seeing what we do over here on the weekly. There's tech names, which are really interesting as well, because tech names have been going up for quite some time. If we look at the monthly on Microsoft, the monthlies are really important as well, because if the monthlies start breaking in, that's when you know things are going to get really, really bad, because we haven't had a monthly break-in for the longest time, and they normally don't last long if these monthlies go through. So it's just a matter of how cheap of premium discounts are we going to go ahead and get. So we're having a bearish TK on the monthly, rejected on the Tenkin, so it's not a good sign for Microsoft, but again, that's on the monthly time frame. Things can recover no problem off that. All right, let me keep going down the list. Qualcomm with the ugly rejection over here. That's really, really ugly for Qualcomm. Looks like more like 96 is pretty much confirmed. If we go over here on the daily, yeah, it needs to recover back over here. You don't want it to be breaking down any further. We do have a gap fill over here. So we have not filled this gap over here back in, that's a gap, right? Hold on. Yeah, that's a gap. Yeah, we have a gap fill over here. This is from back in 2020. So I would say more so the gap fill is more likely going to happen over here. We're going to get that gap fill. Just need that to break down a little further. QLI breaking down. Rocket Mortgages, really interesting setup over here. If we can get into the clouds, maybe this can go ahead and bounce up, but I'm not really a fan of mortgages right now. Roku, absolutely just look at Roku. Oof. This is just disgusting. SCCO is a copper ticker over here. Again, looking for an FTA break over here or some sort of cloud entry. But copper tickers, I'm still very, very bullish on. I'm still comfortable with scaling into things. It makes sense that we ended up pushing up like this just because FCX was running. So been trying to get this one across to people. If there is something you guys are interested in buying, TGB, something you guys could research into and figure out if that's something you like. TGB's a copper mine that's going to be opening up in America. I honestly don't know the progress of that, so why don't we go ahead and check it out. Taseko Mines. Do they have any news? Anything at all? No, I don't believe that's in my portfolio. Mine is Starbucks. I don't care what happens to Starbucks. I know that's one that I definitely have. Starbucks is one that I've been adding into my portfolio for a while. So Starbucks I will continue to add forever and ever and ever. I'm just very bullish on Starbucks as a whole. They're pretty much giving you drugs over there. I don't know if you guys saw that video circulating this morning about that girl taking 460 milligrams of caffeine in their drinks or whatever, or how much ever it was, 260, how much ever it was. But yeah, they're pretty much doping everybody to go to Starbucks and just keep buying. Oh, that was Panera Bread, but either way. Yeah, man, they are. Since you bring that up, we can switch things over to that real quick. I'll just bring up Zeta Markets real quick because I know they're the ones. But yeah, I mean, I don't see anything being confusing at all about that at all whatsoever. Let me just pull them up. Might as well. All right, let's pull them up and see how things look. Trade. Let's check out their UIs over here. Let's get that out of the way. I mean, visually it's good because it gives you a P&L thing. I mean, that's kind of the big thing for people that are new to things. So, and then you have a bunch of tickers you can do. Well, it doesn't seem like it's a bunch, but I guess the two main ones would be WETH and WBTC. I'd probably stick to more so WETH. But YFI should be one you could most likely trade as well. Link is one you can trade as well. Alchemix, I would probably avoid. AI ETH, don't even know what that is. I would avoid that one. But that's not bad. Do they have other tickers? BNB. Nothing. Yeah, I think that's all their tickers they have. So I think the biggest thing you're going to have an issue with is that they probably don't have too many tickers. Oh, they have other markets here. All right. Looks like you can trade these on different chains as well. That's pretty big. That's pretty big news right there. OP options are in here as well. Wow, look at these guys. Phantom options. You can trade FTM. You can trade FTM. So yeah, Premia, that's very awesome that they're doing something like this. So they're going to be coming out with Polygon soon and Avalanche soon as well. So yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, I think this is something that's definitely understandable for beginners if they're trying to do things. The big thing right now is the potential P&L, because if you put your things in, being able to see that is very important. And you get to pick your strike prices too. So, or you can do custom strikes. So yeah, it's not bad. It's just a matter of figuring out, making sure that there's liquidity in these things. I wonder if you can see that. Yeah, I have to look at how this, how they run their options over here, but I don't know if there's like a certain pool for them or how it works. Hold on. Yeah, open interest over here. So there we go. Yeah, so most of the open interest seems to be around ETH and Bitcoin. Everything else doesn't seem to have that much open interest. There's only about 4K open interest over here, 20 over here. So sticking to Ethereum is probably the best bet on this one. Let's check the other one. You said... I don't know, but I can always ask somebody. Yeah, he or she is probably who I'd ask for that one. So if you're still really curious about that one, I can ask for you. Lyra Finance, let's check it. I mean, not that much money is flowing in on these, and it seems like these are just Ethereum. No, there's Bitcoin too. So there's Bitcoin options as well. The big thing is like with the SAM dump that happened right now, a lot of the open interest and volume and market makers, they're not really in play for a lot of these option platforms. So it's basically all retail trading it in, or other semi bigger players coming in. So it doesn't seem like there's that much open interest on any of these things. So the platforms are good. Lyra just seems very simple. Compared to like which ones I like or which one looks better, I like this one because it gives you all the data over here. I like the fact that you can see your deltas, you can see your thetas over here, and you can see the IV as well. So IV is pretty much dead right now. There's no IV over here. Yeah, there's no IV. I like playing things when they're up a little bit more IV than this one. So yeah, I would say Lyra, for me, I like Lyra just how it looks right now off the top of my head. The other one was really good. Like, Premia is not bad if you are a beginner, but for me personally, I like the way this one looks. Zach Morris, I don't even think he does. He just does little mini shits. Hold on, we'll talk about that in a second, and then Zeta Markets I'll bring up to you guys real quick. Yeah, hopefully when these guys relaunch again, they still want to work with me because I would love to go ahead and live trade on their platform. I kind of got used to this one, so I might be biased on my opinion. But yeah, this one is pretty simple as well. I really like the fact that I was able to trade options properly, temporary disabled. Yeah, they have their options disabled right now. But if you've seen my previous streams, it's very simple. It doesn't get any more simpler than it can on Zeta. You just simply select your strike and you roll from there. Let me pull up something else. Teal Finance. So Teal Finance just kind of shows you they're still trying to work on things, but you can see like what the prices are of options on different platforms. Like I don't know what SynQuote is, but apparently that's a new platform. So let's find out about SynQuote right now, whatever this is. Follow. Careers, looking for a career. Sick of always with the engineering jobs. Always with the engineering jobs. I just want a real job so I can not have to pay for insurance, man. It's horrible. And like just healthcare and stuff. I'm just more worried now just because of shit going on with my dad and my parents, like both having fucking cancer and shit. It's like, damn, I probably should get myself checked out and make sure I'm not dying. So that's kind of the only reason I'm concerned now. It's like, damn, I probably should get insurance. It's not good for me to not do it, especially with everything going on. Hang on, let me open this up somewhere else. So this is SynQuote. Seems it's just Ethereum and Bitcoin. Yeah, it's annoying. Yeah, this seems super simple. I mean, I could definitely give them tips on their little platform as far as like what they're doing. And it looks like they're Polygon based, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, this is different. I haven't really seen anybody do Polygon options over here, so it's on the Matic network, so fees should be very, very cheap. I guess that's like one of the big things over here. If you're having something on Polygon, your fees are cheap, so that's kind of the issue with on-chain options right now. Like, you can do on-chain options, it's just if you try to do them on Ethereum, anybody who does fast options, you're going to be paying an arm and a leg for option things. Oh, man, yeah, it's cool, man. I mean, I'm pretty numb to that shit. Like, when my mom passed away with that stuff, it was whatever. But then, like, my dad had shit happen to him, like, a couple months ago. And, I guess the only thing that pisses me off is because he's acting all positive and shit. And he did that shit with my mom. And, like, she ended up passing away with that shit. And I just got pissed because I was like, damn, man, you guys acted like everything was good until the very end. So I'm, like, kind of mad at him. It's like, you better not be lying to me about shit at all. So I think that's the only thing that makes me mad. And then that makes me worry about my own self. It's like, damn, I hope I'm not dying. If I am, it's whatever. But it's like, damn, probably should get checked. What else do we have? Do we want to cover? Let's see. I mean, airlines are pretty much looking shitty as well. Yeah, I want to get a physical. I mean, I feel physically fine. I mean, I don't feel like there's anything wrong with me, really. Maybe there's like one little tiny thing, but that's about it. But I mean, I feel fine. I'm healthy. I'm not unhealthy. So that's good. Yeah, I hope I don't have high blood pressure. I don't think so. Crypto doesn't really stress me out. It's only at certain points that it stresses me out. But at this point, like, crypto was probably the first year was stressing me out. At this point, I just laugh at things. Like, when that FTX stuff happened, I was just kind of laughing, like, wow, the biggest exchange has just crashed. The Binance stuff, I guess I can talk a little bit more about the drama stuff, but I want to bring up something else for people, too. Hang on. OpenSea, I think we'll switch to NFTs a little bit. I was trying to get you guys across to Valhalla, and I think only 1 or 2 people ended up playing on this one. But yeah, the floor is doubled out. People are still buying the fuck out of rares, so there are still NFT plays to do. You just got to be very, very picky. If you're confused about one of these NFT plays, you guys can always ask me about it, and I can tell you if it's worth playing or how to even possibly play it. So don't let anybody tell you NFTs are dead. It's just certain NFTs are dead, and if you don't know what to look at, they're dead. So, yeah. Trump's trading cards. This shit was hilarious. I saw it this morning. Hold on, phone call. Hello. I will be in like. Yeah, the Trump ones are funny. Let's see the highest last sale. 3 Ethereum, 2 Ethereum, 1 Ethereum. So, like, the way I'm looking at this one is, I mean, you guys know, like, there's going to be mad Trump people who are, like, just pro-Trump. I can give a fuck less about political stuff, but, yeah, there's just people who are diehard Trump fans, and those are going to be the diehard Trump fans that are going to be buying these things out and trying to flip them or whatever they're doing. So, yeah, it's interesting what he's doing. I think there's utility to these as well. You can get, like, I don't know, let's just look at the website. Yeah, he's wild. I can't believe he's doing this. Yeah, you end up getting into like a little giveaway or something like this to see if you want to play golf with him, one-on-one meeting, cocktail hour, Miami dinner. So just the sake of like Twitter clout, I wouldn't mind doing something for the fun of it, but yeah, it's real funny that he's doing this. But yeah, the other funny thing is that he's offering more utility than half these projects do. Half the projects don't even offer anything. But it's the same thing like Gary Vee. He's just using his name to sell things out. Gary Vee pretty much did the same thing. Gary Vee does his whole little, here's my seminar. You can join it. You can pay $1,000 to join my seminar. And then he switched it around to where if you have my NFT, you can join my seminar. And with like the recent stuff with like the Zach Morris and everybody getting in trouble for those kind of things, I mean, it's a very fine line on, like, how you're going to get in trouble and what you're going to get in trouble for. Like, yeah, there's some NFT people who are pretty much fucked and they're going to be in a lot of trouble. Like, I can go ahead and call out a couple names. I really don't care. Like, this fucker right here, he is definitely going to get in trouble. If he doesn't get in trouble, my mind will be blown. So he's definitely going to get in trouble for shit. Just everything he does has been us. The only reason he came up is from shilling. What's the other one? Andrew Kang or Wang? He's probably Andrew Wang's intern. He's probably doing it. Yeah, this is probably an account that I muted. Yeah, look, I muted him for a reason. Fucker. Yeah, another pump and dumper fucker over here. So, and then he went the route of let me go ahead and start doxing after everybody started getting into that phase. So, yeah, this guy's also getting in trouble. So, yeah, there's a couple people who are gonna get in trouble for this stuff. It's just a matter of time. But then there's other people who aren't. Like I know a lot of people bitch about D's and shit. Like, but Deez hasn't been doing the same way that other people do. He has always been about this kind of stuff, and he's been doing this stuff with RuneScape. So Deez is probably my favorite person in the whole entire NFT space because he doesn't really show stuff. He just does what he likes. So, I mean, I'd be the first one to call somebody out. But, yeah, I don't think Deez is the one to worry about. I didn't even realize I've been on for an hour. What's Barry's tweet? Let's see what Small Thing is talking about. Oh yeah, the Twitter stuff. Elon Musk with his you're not allowed to track any kind of live planes. I think that's bullshit. He just got salty because somebody was tracking his stuff, and he was always a big advocate about don't mess with my kids. So I think that's a little bullshit that he was like, yeah, you can't live plane track. While that's public information. Like, I can literally just do this FFA plane tracking. Like, there's tons of softwares that do this plane tracking, and it's public information for you to look at, like, what's going on. There's probably better websites than this one, but I think the thing that bothers me is that... Hang on. There's somebody that was on here. I wonder if they banned his account already, but there was somebody that tracks military plane movement. Let me see. Did Dime answer me? You can't for some reason. You can use okay, so they're working on it. So you can't do that one yet, but you can use UUP as an indicator. UUP is pretty much the Dixie, but you can trade options with this one. So yeah, if we're looking at UUP on the B-band strategy, you're looking at 26 as a target, so you definitely know that Dixie's going to be coming down. And we're rejecting right now off a volume shelf as well. So, Yeah, a lot of people didn't know about the plane tracking stuff, but it's really helpful with military planes because you can see a lot of military action that's going on. Let me see if I can find one. Why does it say military e-girl? I swear, I'm not looking that up. Yeah, like this is the other thing that blows my mind. It's like there's all these planes going around. Crazy. Crazy. Yeah, you can definitely track this stuff. Shop for the sake attendees. Yeah, let me check that out. Dude, shop. Let me add this to my list. You're seeing a nice setup over here. I think I don't typically trade shop. Yeah, I don't know. I have nothing to say on that one. Yeah, shop weekly setup would be interesting. So if you can get this setup over here. So I don't know if anybody has TrendSpider, but like something you guys can do over here is just like create alerts. They let you create a million different alerts and you can set up the sensitivity. I think that's kind of like the biggest thing over here is setting your sensitivity, figuring out if you want to break through, a touch, a bounce, all three of them, what time frame you want the confirmation. So I think their alerts are probably the world's best alerts in the world. I just absolutely love them. I just like their platform so much more. I just wish I would have discovered them. Well, they weren't even around when I first started trading. But yeah, their platform's just awesome. Let me go ahead and might as well show something. Here's the link if you guys want to sign up for TrendSpider. I think they're having a sale still. I believe it's going all to the end of the month. Yeah, they have a sale at the end of the month. So yeah, 60% off right now until the 18th. No, your Corolla's great. Your Corolla's going to last till like 200K miles. But yeah, I mean, I don't have anything else to go over. I appreciate you guys hopping in. That's pretty much it for the stream. Do you guys have any questions or anything you guys want me to go over before I hop off? Yeah, I can check Nike. Yeah, it definitely does. If you're doing ES, it avoids like all the gaps and stuff. Nike 1 week again. If we can get into the clouds on the 1 week, it would be nice. Let's check the daily. Daily's going really good. So what I'd want to focus on is just making sure we pass through the FTA. So that's the FTA over here. So if we can make it to the 23rd, so the last week of the month, if we can make it through here, this should start hitting up on high. So once we clear 118, that'll really be a big trigger for this one. Yeah, dude, I appreciate you guys hopping on. I know there's not that many people in here. Looking at ES real quick. Yeah, I think ES is very important because you don't see like the gaps like you do in SPY. So ES does make it a lot more cleaner, and you can see after hour action as well. Oops, that's not it. So last night I saw this dumping out, and I knew right off the bat, I was like, damn, my options are going to die. So yeah, ES is useful to chart out, especially if you're trading. So